Welcome back to the channel, everyone. What I'm going to be doing today then is a kit review on this gear right here, which is the MOLLE Belt Kit from British Tactical. So then, belt kit, or webbing as it's known quite often in the UK, I've used it for a long time. Now, belt kit is a great option for light role infantry. So if you're on foot, if you're patrolling, if you're not just constantly getting in and out of vehicles. I've previously done a review on the Crossfire DZ rig, which is their belt kit, which is absolutely amazing. It's a great setup, super comfortable. What their kit has though, has a fixed system on the rear pouches, so you can change the ammo pouches, but the rest of it is fixed. Whereas this kit here is a true modular system. There's lots of different versions out there. This kit here, I think, is probably one of the best options, definitely for the British market anyway. And to be honest, the British belt kit, I think, is far surpasses anything in the States. So British Tactical then, they've been going since 2010. They're a British veteran-owned company, and they basically just knock out mainly webbing, belt kit, pouches, belts, that sort of thing. They approached me to see if I wanted to do a review of their kit that they'd recently brought out in this very nice Ranger green colour, which I was really interested in because not only, you know, can you use this as a set of webbing, you can obviously strip it down, use the pouches because they're modular. You can add them onto rucksacks. You can make a more lightweight belt kit, so you could use like a shooter's belt type setup, or you can make up a bushcraft belt. And I've actually based my bushcraft belt now off one of the belts that I've got from British Tactical, and it's really comfortable. Anyway, let's get into the belt kit, and I'm going to talk through what I've got here, and I'll talk through pros and cons and how I see it being best used. Now, this is the British Tactical belt kit that I've got set up here then. Now, this is made up of modular pouches, obviously with a belt and a yoke harness system. Now, British Tactical don't go down the line of selling made up kits like this. You basically choose the pouches that are most suitable for you, your role, and you know what you're going to be doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each part of this system then. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each part, what sort of gear you can fit in each part, how it's best used. Starting with the yoke then. So in the UK we call this a yoke system. In America you probably would call this suspenders. In the UK suspenders is something different. But anyway, I'll go on and talk about the yoke. So you can see there then the mesh goes throughout the system to allow heat loss away from your back when you're sweating and working hard. The mesh actually comes up a bit higher onto the shoulders than it does on a PLC system, so it allows that heat escape to be a bit more effective. You've got a really nice long wide drag handle there that's obviously sewn on really well there. I had a good look at the stitching. You can see then, you know, that's going to take some major weight before that would even come anywhere near breaking. On the back of the system you've got the PALS webbing, and you've got 4 columns by 6. Now this yoke actually comes in 3 sizes. This one's the medium. The short version comes with 4 rows of PALS webbing, and the long one comes with 8. So this is the medium one. It's a 6-point attachment system, very much the same as a PLC. So 2 at the back, 2 at the sides, 2 at the front. But the way that they're attached at the front is different to PLC. You've basically got the buckle at the bottom there, so there's no buckle up here to rub against your chest when you're patrolling with body armour on. So if this is underneath body armour, then these are below the body armour. The front straps there then, these have got a nice amount of padding then. I don't know what the actual measurements are, but I've worn this quite a bit in the field and it's super comfortable. You've got 2 columns of PALS on the front by 4 deep, so you can attach things like your PLR radio and stuff like that. You can also use these for attaching things like bungee cord on, so if you had, say, a hydration system on the back here, then you can run a tube through this down to the front to stop it from flapping around. So that's the yoke. The yoke also comes with this sternum strap here that's attached by these open buckles to the MOLLE system on the yoke. So if you need a sternum strap, then this does a great job. You can see it's nice and wide as well. Right, going into the belt then. So the belt comes in 3 sizes as well. I can't remember what the actual columns of MOLLE or PALS webbing is on each one, but I'll put a description on the video. But this belt is super comfortable, okay? So it's got padding actually sewn into the belt, and unlike some of the other systems where you've got like a tunnel system here and then you have to add your own belt, this has the belt sewn into it. And there's 2 options. You can either get the Cobra buckle as seen here, which is super secure and it's got that nice sort of green coating on it as well, so that's lovely. Or you can get a normal fixed lock buckle on there as well. So the way I've got mine set up, my strap on the belt, so this comes with this threaded through this buckle here, so it's like a permanent size, well not permanent but a fixed size for you. Now I prefer mine to be adjustable, so I can clip it in, and then if I've put warm layers on or something, or if I've just had a good Christmas, I can either loosen it or tighten it. But no, I've found during my experience that my soldering experience is, if you've got it a fixed size, you may be putting on or taking off layers, and it's good to be able to just cinch it up last minute when you put your belt kit on. So that's a great little option there, great belt there and a great buckle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the pouches from left to right as you're wearing them. Starting with the ammo pouches then. So you can probably see on the video, this is laser cut material, so nice and lightweight but tough. So the pouches are closed, the ammo pouches are closed with Velcro. There's like a little knobbly bit inside this part of the flap then, so it's easier to grab, and it's just closed with Velcro as you can see there. So I've got a couple of the issue E-mags in there, and basically 2 of those fit in there nicely. Now if you have a look inside, what you've got is these plastic inserts. Now there's Velcro runs all the way inside these, which holds these in place. The magazines are held in place by a bit of friction like that, so that they won't just like fall out if you take this off, because this part here is actually removable. So you can have this, as like a fast mag reloader type pouch, where it's just basically held in by friction. And I've absolutely no doubt, I've not used it like this, as in without the flap, but I've no doubt that would hold that in there absolutely fine. Personally, I prefer to have the flap over the top of mine, just to give it a little bit of extra protection from the elements and stuff. The open pouches are great for certain roles, so if you're like in a CQB environment or something like that, where you need to get your magazines much quicker, it's good for that. But in your like normal green infantry role, if you're digging trenches and stuff, you don't want mud and crap getting in there. And obviously they're open to the sides, but that's just going to give it that added extra bit of protection. On here then, what you've got is this bungee system running round with a lock. Now that will help keep the magazines in place. So I've got a couple more magazines here. These are P-mags, these ones. So if you're not using the plastic inserts, like I've taken them out of there, then 2 magazines still fit in there nice and comfortably. There's just a slight bit of movement, but that movement can be cinched down firstly with a flap and secondly with a bungee. So they're really nice. And those magazine pouches take 2 magazines in and make up 2 rows of PALS webbing. Next pouch around then. So we've got a utility pouch here. So it's closed with this fast sticks buckle here. And you can see that the top half of it is actually fixed to the pouch, so it's not flapping around. So that makes it a lot easier to close and open it, as you can see, with one hand. So that's great. You've got 2 lots of PALS on the top of the pouch, so you can add bits and pieces on there if need be. So you could put something like maybe a strobe pouch on there or something like that, or it's just a good fixing point for whatever you might need. You've also got on this pouch here, you've got 3 rows of Pals webbing on the side and 2 on the front, by 2 sideways as well. You can actually, when you buy these, you have the option of having them with or without the Pals webbing on, so that's great, so you can suit it to your requirements. Closure of the pouch is also, you've also got the Velcro there as well. So for some reason, somebody say if that gets broken, that buckle, you could still close it with the Velcro. As I say, it fits a standard issue water bottle in. Now what I will say is this is the smaller utility pouch, the lidded utility pouch, and it only takes up 2 rows of Pals webbing. Now it does not fit a metal water bottle in, a metal cup in there as well, but it fits an issue water bottle in fine. I'll talk about a little bit more about that in a minute. So a nice little pouch, and also you've probably noticed this bit here, so this little thing here with the hole in it, that's there so you can actually convert this to carry a 354 radio. So that's the British Army issue radio system, the Bowman, and I'll put a picture up of that. I've not got a Bowman radio, but I'll put a picture up of that with the radio fitted in there. Moving around a little bit more then. So these 2 pouches at the back are identical. So these are the slightly larger utility pouches. These are great, so they can get a little bit more kit in them. So for example, in this one here, what I've got is 24 hours rations. I've got a couple of fuel blocks, the Dragon fuel, a cooker. There's the rations, and then at the bottom of that, I've actually got the metal mug that I could use for cooking with, because obviously if you're carrying a cooker and a load of rations, then you're going to need to be able to cook it as well. So that's the issue metal mug. So that all fits in there, no problem at all. And that's a stripped down 24-hour ration pack there, and that all fits in there, no problem at all. Again, the closure system's exactly the same. You've got the Velcro there that you can silence if you don't need it, and then you've got that fixed top part of the buckle, the female part, and the male part there. And what I've done with the straps on this one is I'll just undo this bit here, I've fed the strap through the Pals webbing to stop it flopping down. So on the 2, you haven't got that option really, because it's in the middle of the sewing, so it just kind of flops. On this one, when you undo it, it just stops there, which makes it a little bit easier to just do it up, so you don't have to find the strap when you're actually wearing it. Okay, next one there then, the same as that, exactly the same webbing pouches there. In this one, what I've got is my trauma kit. So I've got the US issue like trauma pouch there with all my trauma kit in, and a couple of signal items. So you know, if I was to get a casualty in my section, then I've got the means to call in a helicopter using a VS-17 cut down marker panel or silooms to either mark the position of the casualty or to attract attention. Coming round then, I've got another water bottle pouch here then, so 2 litres of water, and you notice, like I said before, you've got the Pals on top of all the pouches. So for example, one thing that could be useful for these ones at the top here, you could add bungee cord, and you could actually make it so it's able to carry a basher, like a rolled up basher across the top, a bit like what we used to have on the 58 webbing actually, so a bit retro. Anyway, I digress. Water bottle pouch, already spoken about that. One that's quite interesting here then, so this is an MOD survival knife. I've used this quite a bit in lots of places around the world. I've used it recently in Alaska to build a survival shelter. Really, you know, good bit of kit. And this sheath here then is made by British Tactical specifically for this type of knife, for an MOD survival knife. They call this the Mad Jack sheath. If you don't know about Mad Jack, look him up. He's a flipping legend, commando from World War II. So they make different versions of these knife sheaths. They make them for the British Army issue bayonet. They make them for the actual commando dagger as well. So they're all different variations of the same knife sheath. And these are really nice as well. The retaining loop was a press stud, and this part here is adjustable for different widths of handles. And as you can see, it's nice and low profile, and it's also got MOLLE loops on here, so you could still attach bits and pieces on here. So you could put like a 9mm magazine pouch on there, you know, for a multi-tool or for a magazine, or you could put a strobe pouch on there, something like that. So that's nice. Okay, what we've got here then, this is a zipped utility pouch. So you've got the main pouch here, really nice chunky durable zips as well. In here, rifle cleaning kit, CLP, cam cream, spare torch, spare batteries, all that sort of stuff. That's just to show you what sort of gear this could take. You've got a couple of those little loops there, so you can tie stuff off, as I've got a bit of paracord there. But a great little admin pouch for all your smaller items, or your command kit, things like TAMs and stuff like that. There's a zipped pocket on the outside at the front there then, so again you can separate your kit a little bit. I've got 2 sets of the yellow ear defence in there, so that basically is quite handy if you need to get to them, if you're on the ranges or something like that. And then you've got a Velcro panel on the front to maybe put an ID panel patch on there or something like that. Okay, so that's all the pouches there. So that belt kit I just spoken about then, that was just the items that I've got from British Tactical. They make lots of other different pouches. Here's a couple more different ones here. So this is a small zipped utility pouch. Again, love that zip, you can just tell it's quality. Just a small open pouch there for your smaller bits and pieces, so you could attach that to a day sack, a Bergen, or on your belt kit. You can see here then, it's a good view of that laser cut MOLLE system there, really neat. This here then is a large sort of dump pouch. You could use this on the back of a Bergen for putting your basher in and your peg, your shelter kit, or you could just have this on the back of your webbing, and it could be basically a butt pack, like a lot of Americans like that, because it dates back to their Alice system. So this takes up 6 columns of PALs, which is the same as the 2 larger pouches I had on the back of the webbing anyway. So this could easily replace those 2 pouches I had on the back with no bother whatsoever. Again, you've got that Velcro system on the closure with the silencers on, and then looking inside, you've got that big dump pouch, and then you've got like a little separator pocket there as well, so you could put something flatter in there. So again, you could put something like a VS17 panel in there, the air emergency panels, or a notebook or something like that, or a map, and then you've got the big main compartment there that is actually pretty big. You could quite easily get a basher in that. So there's lots of other different pouches that British Tactical make. I'll put some pictures up here and show you some of the different sizes and stuff of the pouches that they make. They're not just the ones that I've shown today. Right then, so what I'm going to do next then is I'm going to talk about some pros and cons of this kit. Pros of it then, super comfortable, okay? That belt with that padding in there, it's just super comfortable. You put it on and it just kind of molds to your hips, really good. Second one then, it's obviously modular. You can set your webbing system up, or your belt, however you're going to have your kit set up, in any way you want. They've got so many different pouches available that you could set your kit up really lightweight. You could have like a shooter belt with just minimal kit on. You could set up a fairly heavy set of kit like this, or even go more. So the modularity of the kit, it just makes it great, doesn't it, to be able to set it up to how your SOPs are and to how you're going to operate. The third one then is the quality of the gear then. So I've used this out in the hills, I've used this on exercises, and it's solid. There's not even any fraying whatsoever. You know, I've beasted this up in the mountains, and it's absolutely solid. Even though it's made with a lot of the laser cut system on it, I've looked at all the actual attachment points and everything after I've used it, and the quality of this is absolutely amazing. So that's my third pro of the kit. Okay then, cons then. Now, I haven't really got many cons for this kit whatsoever. I've tried looking, I've tried thinking, right, what doesn't work really well, but it doesn't. It's all great. The only thing I would say that's a slight con is this loop here, this grab handle. Now it does work really well, but if you look at the positioning of it, because of where it sits above the back of the yoke when it's actually on the body. So what I find is this actually presses a little bit against my neck. Maybe it's a me problem, maybe because I've got a bit of a wide neck, but I do find that if this was changed slightly, maybe made a bit lower or something, then it would be an improvement. Now, I've spoken to David at British Tactical, and he said what he's going to do with this is have it so it can be tucked away with a bit of Velcro and just be pressed against there. So the great thing is, the company are actually listening to customers and a bit of experience. So when they fix that, I've got to say, I don't think there's be a con to this system. It's a really, really good setup. How I see it being best used, this is something that I always talk about at the end of my review videos. Now, because it's modular, this can be set up in any way you want, okay? So it's not set like this, which is a relatively heavy setup for an infantry soldier with loads of sustainment. You can either scale it down, so you could just have, say, ammo pouches and a holster and a knife and a med kit, you know, like a shooter belt type setup with no yoke on it. Or you could have it like this, or you could scale it up even more, so you could put a panel on the back here with a big hydration pouch. You could put bungees on, you could attach a basher across the back here, and a roll across the back. You know, it's endless. The limitations are endless with this kit because it's modular, because they've got so many different pouches available. Now, I'm not going to quote a price because it depends on what you buy. The prices of the pouch, you know, are different for each pouch and for the belts and stuff. But what I will say about this kit is it's very, very reasonable. Some of the gear that's out there, you've got to basically sell a kidney to set up a set of belt kit. Now, this isn't cheap, but it's definitely not on the expensive end of the spectrum. It's available in this very nice Ranger green, and it's also available in multicam as well. So obviously, depending on your unit, your SOPs, your gear that you have to use, then you've got a couple of options there. The kit's available from their own website, from British Tactical website, and it's also available from Kit Monster, which is another great resource to buy your gear from. So let me know what you guys think of this. How does it compare to anything you've used? I would have loved to have had this whilst actually still serving in the military. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, stay prepared.